Hi. All right, so let's see. There we go. All right. So, sorry I'm a little late. I saw that just a few minutes before 12. I was like, oh, I'll just do a little bit of work. And then, anyway. So, I wanted to talk about, I'm not quite sure how to phrase it, but, so this whole thing with my ex that I'm learning from. It's a learning opportunity. It's painful. But one of the things I'm relearning or learning at a different level is that I have to just be okay with that because this is reality and there's nothing I can do about it. He's married. He's married. So I've been struggling with these thoughts about how that lessens what we had together, and makes me feel like, I don't know, there's just a whole host of emotions and thoughts that come along with it, especially as, to a different degree, I guess, or to additionally the fact that this woman was the woman that he got engaged to towards the beginning of our relationship, when we were casual and he went home and his parents pressured him into it. He met her twice and got engaged, and then came home and almost realized that he didn't want to lose me, so he broke up with her so that we could be together. And we were together for 4 years. And then we broke up because he had to go get married because his mom is like that. And he married the same woman that he had been engaged to. She waited around for me. You know what? I have all these thoughts, very judgmental, very judgmental thoughts about this whole thing. But it's not personal, right? This whole thing isn't personal. Anyway, the point that I'm making is, I have, in general, I think a lot of Americans have in their head this idea that, well, anything, right? Anybody thinks something should be this way, or that a relationship should be this or that. And I found that in my thinking that our relationship should be something else other than what it is or was, I find myself struggling with my emotions towards him and the relationship. I'm just trying to put it into my schema, right? My mental schema of how things go and what life's like and how things are supposed to be. And that doesn't really work. Some water. So the other night I was slightly high. I should probably stop that. But I just need to relax. I just need to relax. And I don't seem to be able to without a little bit of help. But anyway. So the other night I was a little high and I was listening with my earbuds, which is different because I've been listening mostly when I've been listening to music. I've been listening to it on my phone, which is not a great quality sound, But when I put my earbuds in, it's like surround sound and all this stuff. So the orchestration of the music was much more, it encapsulated me, you know what I mean? I was much more into it because it was all over. It was involving my whole brain. It wasn't just something in the background. And I was listening to Ella Fitzgerald sing Gershwin. Oh. And it came to that song, They Can't Take That Away From Me, right? Which is funny because that's a song that I learned to sing when I was in college taking voice lessons. And I mean, my voice, whatever, but it was the one song that it has a special place in my heart. But I never really understood it because I'd always listen to it and just be like, it's so unfair, it's wrong. It's wrong that this person has to say goodbye to the other person, right? Like, and the bridge goes, we may never meet again on the bumpy road to love, right? Which is the one part of the song that's like, maybe they will meet together. A bumpy road to love, right? Like, because it says, we may never, my voice, right? Meet again on that bumpy road to love. But the word may is in there. So I have always kind of focused on that and been like, may never, which means they could potentially. And that I've never really taken it to be that relationship and that's it. Like the relationship where this person came into your life, you loved them. The relationship was amazing. You remember, you have so many good memories. The way you changed my life, right? This person came into my life and just changed it. I'm still changing it. In so many ways. And I'm not satisfied with that, which is a little ungrateful. But in my mind, I think that it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't have been that way. That we should be able to be together. We should have been able to be together if that's what we had wanted. But that's just not how it worked out. That's life and it's reality, right? Like, so let's accept it. And realize that. And so as I was listening to the song and the orchestration, the beautiful orchestration kind of sweeping me up, I mean, I just started crying, because that and this thing that Michael Singer talks about sort of came together in my mind, which is, sorry, allergies, which is that we're able to have those emotions and enjoy them, as is evidenced by the fact that we'll go see a play or we'll go see a movie or something that moves us, and we love being moved, right? We love something touches our hearts and makes us ache with how sad it is, how beautiful it is, and how sad it is. Like if this was a movie, you go and see it and just be like, oh, but you'd have that ache and you'd live in it for a moment. You would allow that into your heart because you knew it wasn't true, right? But you allow that into your heart. You allow that pain, like just, I don't know how anybody else experiences like the feeling of watching, like TV or movies or plays where the person's hurting. Like I think we're all affected by it. I get very into it. And I mean, we have these emotions that just, and the more emotions that a movie or whatever makes us feel, the more we're like, oh my God, that was amazing, right? Like the emotions it takes us through. And they're not comfortable emotions. And the emotions that we have while watching the movie or something like that are emotions that when we have them in real life, we won't accept it. We won't just enjoy them for what they are and let them go. We hold on to them. Let me speak for myself. I hold on to them because I think they should be something else. I prefer them to be something else. And whether or not I'm physically trying to make the world that way, I'm mentally trying to make it. Either way, I'm making myself miserable. But if I could see this, like this song, right, is bringing this idea to me that this is what the relationship was. This is what the relationship was. This is the role he plays in my life and the role that I played in his. Like, just, we have to part. But I love you, and everything I got from you, I'll keep with me. I get to. They can't take that away from me, right? If you don't know the song, it's a Gershwin tune, and it goes. I'm not gonna sing it because my voice is terrible, but the lyrics are like, the way you wear your hat, the way you sip your tea, the memory of all that. No, they can't take that away from me. The way your smile just beams, the way you sing off key, the way you haunt my dreams. No, they can't take that away from me. We may never meet again on the bumpy road to love, but still I'll always keep the memory of the way you hold your knife, the way we danced till 3, the way you changed my life. No, and that's the changed my life is like the soaring part of the song, right? No, they can't take that away from me, right? So that's the song, and that's what our relationship is. Like, we will never meet again on that bumpy road to love. Still, I'll always keep the memory of, right? It doesn't matter what forces kept us apart. And it's the right decision. This is the thing that kills me. It's the way it should be. Given reality, this is how it needed to work out. I just don't like reality. Sorry, I need a tissue. So I am working now on, so as I was listening to that song, that ache that you get when you're watching a sad movie or a sad play where you're completely identifying with the character and you're feeling what they're feeling, and it just, you get swept with just that ache in your heart, that everything. I gotta turn my notifications off because they just keep coming up and they're distracting. I felt that, and it clicked in my head what Michael Singer says about going to a play or whatever and being swept up in the emotion of it and enjoying it, and then going and telling your friends, you got to go see this, it's amazing, and you go see it more than once, because you enjoy that feeling. That feeling, you're just blown away by it. But when it comes to real life, you have that feeling, you don't want it, and you try and get away from it. Sigh. It's either that or snot. You guys know that, right? Ugh. So when it comes to real life, we don't want to feel it. So we add this stress and this thing of this shouldn't be that way, and our preference, our desire for it to be different, and our clinging to it and our holding on because we want it to be different. Not accepting it because, there's just no way. There's no way it can be any different, right? There's just none. And that's reality, and that's what has to be accepted, what I have to accept. And so this idea of that he talks about, like, we actually love feeling these emotions, combined with this music, which is telling the story about whatever character, parting from their loved one, someone they love so much and had so many good things, memories, and changes That's the story. That's our story. That's the story that Abram and I have. We don't have the happily ever after beating all odds story. You know, we don't have the bucking familial and cultural norms story to be together. And that's the way it should be, you know? I'm sure he's happy, and I want him to be happy, and I hope she's awesome. I don't like to think that she's better than me, but that's just comparison, and, you know, she's different. But regardless, the story that I have, my relationship with Abram, and I think in stories, right? So if the story isn't, it's interesting now I'm thinking, I think in stories, and if our story isn't like, we love each other so much, we try and make each other happy every single day, and we want to be together, and there's this force that is keeping us apart, or that drives us apart, that makes it impossible for us to stay together. Our story is not the story of love conquering all. It's not the story where you fly in the face of your family and your mother and overcome it and be happy with the person you love. That's not the story that we have. The story that we have is that we had this amazing relationship that changed both of our lives in so many ways, and we will always have that. And you know, that's something I've been telling myself since the beginning. Well, not the beginning, since we broke up. You know, we always have this beautiful, like, I picture it as being in like a little beautiful jewelry box, like gorgeous, just small, right, and it's right up here. Jewelry box, well, actually it's probably like up here, right? Jewelry box that like I can open and enjoy the memories, and I can close, and it's always beautiful. The jewelry, the gems, the beauty, and the value and the worth itness of what's inside that box and the box itself. Will always be there, and will always be that beautiful thing. It won't change. It will always be this beautiful thing that we had. And it makes my heart ache. But that's the story. And I should be grateful for that ache, because it's an experience. It's a personal experience that I get to have. I still miss him though. And I love him. But he's with someone else. Not just with someone else, he's married to someone else, and they'll probably be having babies soon. So there's that. So that's what I wanted to say. Basically, when you come up with something that you don't like, maybe that's just the story. You know what I mean? Like, the story we're telling ourselves is, I mean, it's true. We tell ourselves whatever story, and that's what colors our thoughts about it, our feelings about it, our everything, right? Sorry, I was just thinking about a billion different things. So that's my thought for today, is that when you're struggling with something and you don't want to let it go, and you feel like it should be different, and you feel like it should be a different story, realize that that's not the story that you want it to be, isn't the story that it is. And the story that it is can still be beautiful and worthwhile having. It's not, in a way, it's not anything less than if we had ended up together. It's he's my love, right? Like, I love him. But I just want him to be happy. And that's our story. Our story, my story here, what I'm getting out of this, or what I am. There's so many memories that I have that I love. Yeah, so my story, that what I'm getting out of this, so my story that I have with him, and it's a story we both have, right? Like, we're the ones that got away. That's our story. The one that got away. And in a way, you know what I mean? Like, but that's a special thing too. It's not, okay, we ended up this beautiful epic romance that defied all odds. It's a different experience, and I should be grateful for that experience. I am grateful for that. I am grateful for that experience. Like, I am. And then, like, on the one hand, it's like, but did it have to be with him? Couldn't I have ended up with him? But it's like, it had to be with someone I love very much. So no matter who it was with, it was going to be this. And it was with him. And it had to be with him. He was amazing. But so I am reconciling myself to the fact that this is the story. This is what it is. And that's it. So I'm working on allowing myself to enjoy that feeling, that sadness, that like ache, that heartache that song brings, that a movie like that brings, like a play where they're singing that song brings. My problem is I end up heaving sobs, sobbing at plays and sobbing at movies, like it's very hard for me to control myself. So there's still a lot of emotion there. But if I change the way I'm looking at it, like this is the story, this is the story, and he'll always be that for me, and I'll always be that for him. And I will feel much better about it in a few years when I'm over it, right? So that's what my thought is. That's what I'm going to go with. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. And that's all she wrote. And no one here but us chickens. And that's it. So I am going to be grateful for that. I'm grateful. So grateful. However it ended up, I am so grateful for that relationship. And it lasted so much longer than we thought it was going to. And it was beautiful, and I never wanted it. I mean, it was always like, oh, just enjoy it while it's here, and someday it'll end, but it won't. But that's not right now. Well, that time came, right? That time came, and it went, and it stuck. And now that's just the story. That's what I have, and that's what he has. He's not even thinking about me right now because he's married. He's thinking about his bride. He's not even considering all this. That's the thing that gets me too, is like, I'm still stuck on this and he's married. Anyway, that's the story. And I think that I'm just gonna say, regardless of how much it hurts, I am grateful for it, which means that you too can always choose to have a grateful